Here is a story racked with pain from Black history. It's terrifying how Americans have ignored the truth for over 70 years. The truth will come out no matter how much we try to hide it. Why was this part of history not on view for a long period of time? What was the purpose behind concealing the actuality? Oklahoma was known as America's Black Wall Street during the 20th century. Oklahoma's population consisted of African Americans who came to America during Native American removal. The self-governing tribes of Native Americans were moved from their ancestral homelands in the eastern part of the state to a designated Indian territory, specifically the lands west of the Mississippi River. This policy of forced displacement is also known as Indian removal. The land rushes in 1889 and 1891 invited people to Oklahoma. In 1907, Oklahoma became a state. It became a hope of change for African Americans who left the lands of slavery to find a home in Oklahoma. The Jim Crow laws forced people out of their ancestral lands. The Jim Crow laws were state and local laws introduced in the southern United States in the late 19th century and the early 20th century that enforced racial segregation. Greenwood would be impossible without a set of prominent people's contributions. These people fueled the creation of black towns in Oklahoma. Let's poke into it. Edward P. McCabe. Edward P. McCabe, a former politician and state auditor of Kansas. His aspiration to build a black state in the Oklahoma Territory set the foundation to the establishment of the greatest achievement of black Americans throughout history. He founded the town of Langston in Oklahoma and the newspaper Langston City Herald. Ottawa W. Gurley. Gurley purchased 40 acres of land in a county called Tulsa within the Oklahoma Territory and built grocery stores and one-story roomings, not realizing how huge a step it is towards black entrepreneurial businesses. J.B. Stratford. J.B. Stratford arrived in Tulsa in 1898 with his wife Augusta. His father was a Kentucky slave who had been named Caesar. He built the largest hotel, which was a black-owned, operated, and black guest-only hotel of his times, with 54 modern living rooms, a gambling hall, a dining room, and whatnot. John Wesley and Lula Tom William. John and Lula were among Greenwood's earliest residents. Together, they contributed to Greenwood's prosperity, an auto repairing garage, a confectionery, a rooming house, and much more, among which the Williams Dreamland Theater is the most celebrated, which featured silent films and live musicals and theatrical reviews that regularly attracted black audiences. Simon Barry. Simon Barry, barred from using white taxis, introduced jitney services to Greenwood. He also owned a hotel and started a bus service. As an experienced aviator, he found his own airline charter. The whites envied the success and prosperity of black Americans. The tensions between black and white people in Tulsa took place every now and then. They were eagerly waiting for something to go wrong to dethrone the blacks from the empire they'd molded with immense suffering and brilliance. Unfortunately, the elevator encounter came off, and it was exactly what they wanted to happen. A 17-year-old white woman, Sarah Page, claimed that she was assaulted by 19-year-old black man Dick Rowland. Beginning with this, a swarm of whites jammed into Greenwood City, burning down the city. How pathetic is people's jealousy? However, this part of the Black American history piece was not added to the curriculum until 2000 in Oklahoma State books and in 2004 in U.S. history classes. Billingsley, too, built Black Tech Street by providing the children with education, teaching, and aspiring the blacks to rise again. I would like to quote my favorite words. "It is not our differences that divide us. It is our inability to recognize, accept, and celebrate those differences." If the white people had been encouraging and supportive of the success of their nation, despite the race the people belonged to, the world would have been a better place to live in. After all, what does one gain by destroying others' wealth?